Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I have another layout for the Simple Stories creative team, and this is another layout using the Posh collection, and I wanted to start out using the beautiful washi tapes from this collection. And so what I wanted to do was punch a bunch of circles from some scrap cardstock that I had, and I'm going to cover them with all of these different washi tapes and use those as a background design. And if you've seen the Posh collection or got your hands on it, then you know how beautiful and versatile it is. There is a lot of navy blue in the mix, and if you watched my previous video, then you saw how I created a layout without any of the navy blue. I used a lot of the soft colors. So for this one, I thought I would go the opposite extreme and bring in some of the darks and use some colors that just basically makes this look like a totally different collection. And so when you look at the two layouts together, it's really hard to tell that they came from the same collection. So this is something easy you could do with washi tape here. And so I'm just taking the circles that I punched and small strips of the tape and covering them up. And then this one with the stripes, I tried to line the stripes up so they matched. And there's a really pretty floral one that I've used. There are two with navy. There's a yellow one, a coral one, and a mint green one. And so I'm going to use all of these on, I think, at least two circles. And I punched different sizes there. And once I have all that done, it's just going to be a matter of arranging it on my background and trying to figure out where my picture is going to go. I don't think I used any pattern paper on this layout. I think it was mainly washi tape and embellishments. And the navy blue in this collection is really pretty. It's dark and navy, but yet it's got a, like especially this washi tape, it's got little dots on it. The blue it's kind of bright even though it's dark. I don't know how to describe that. It's got a bright tint to it, so it's not a really dull navy. It's a really pretty, you can kind of see there. It's almost got some royal blue mixed in it, I guess. That's just how I see it. Anyway, so this is all my circles, and I kind of have them spread out here. I want to create a vertical design. And there's my little picture. I printed it in black and white. And then this is a card from the Snap Pack. And I thought this would be a cute card that I could layer and also put my title on it. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to kind of just layer this just like this. I want my photo to kind of be in the center, and then it's going to layer on top of that card. And I don't want any of my circles to go anywhere, so I'm going to lightly stick them down where they are so I don't mess that up, because I will never get them back the same way again. So I like how that looks. And I want to do some mixed media, and this is going to be totally backwards because I usually do my mixed media work with paints or watercolors, gelatos, whatever it is, before I stick anything down. But in this case, I did not want to mess up where I had the circles, and so I'm going to kind of do this the hard way and use my finger and just smudge some clear gesso all around those circles. And I'm not using white gesso for this because I'm not going to come over the circles. So I'm going to kind of do all my mixed media underneath and coming out around the circles. So if I was going to do some on top of the circles, I probably would have used the white gesso to kind of blend out some of the color. Because if you don't put gesso on top of washi tape, anything that's wet is going to just wipe right off of it because it's a slick surface. So in this case, I'm not going to do anything to the circles, so I just want to do a little bit of smudging around the circles. So I'm going to pull out some of my gelatos, and I tried to find ones that matched all the colors that I've got going in the circles. And I just want little smudges here and there. I'm going to test out this blue color because that navy blue is hard to match with gelatos, and so I wanted to make sure I had the color right before I started to put it where you can see it. And I'm using just a little bit of water to start the smudging process, and then, you know, once because I've already got the gesso on there, it's going to help it smudge and spread a little easier. confuse me. So I've got some of the blue, I've got some of the mint green, some of the yellow, and I'm just kind of adding, like right there, I'm adding blue because it's in between the coral and the mint. So naturally I'm going to use a color that's not in that area. Now I'm also going to add in a little bit of the Prima oil pastels here because there's a color in there that matches that blue perfectly. And so I'm just kind of mixing and matching until I get the right color. I'm just going in between the circles. And I could have done this before I stuck the circles down, but I wasn't sure what color circle was going to go where, and I didn't want, you know, a bunch of yellow in the background and then I put the yellow circle on top of it. It would be just too much of that color in the same area. And this was not that hard to do. And the circles were just, you know, they were lightly stuck in the middle so I could lift them up and smudge around and under them there. So and this way I know what color I want to use where. And I'm also using the white gelato to kind of lighten some things up and kind of create some fading around the edges so it's not a harsh line around all that color. And I had to use a couple of colors to come up with that coral. I had to use a little bit of yellow and then that color right there, which is kind of like it's on the pink side, but it's also got some orange tint to it, but it created that really perfect coral color and it wound up looking almost the exact shade. And my blue is not the perfect navy blue, but I think it looks nice and kind of brightens up the areas in between those other colors of the circles. Okay, so I've got most of that done. Now I'm going to come in with some splatters, and this is where I'm going to use my shimmers. And I just try to add in all of those same colors that I've got going on, just random little splatters here and there. That's colorings and no yoking, which I use that color a lot. It's the perfect bright yellow. And this is a colorings. It's called Well Blue Me Down, and it's a really pretty teal. And I like how this is looking. It's different, you know. I used a lot of florals in my last layout, and this one, it's just got a totally different feel. And I love doing that. This is a navy blue color. Oh my goodness, I cannot remember the name of it. I think it's Don't Rain on My Parade. But it was the perfect match to that blue color. To match that coral color, I'm going to come in with Creamy's Grapefruit because it is a really close match to that coral color. I'm just adding some water and splattering it down with my brush. Very easy to do with any paints, really. Just get your brush with a lot of water, mix it up, and splatter it down. Now, my intentions at this point are to machine stitch through a lot of those circles, but before I adhere them down to where I can't get anything underneath them, I'm going to go ahead and add my tangled thread, and I'm going to do that underneath a couple of the circles. So when I stitch everything down, everything behind the circle is going to be stitched too. So this was a good way to anchor down any loose thread that I added in there. And like usual, I'm just mixing and matching the colors. I put the yellow thread under the blue and white striped. I put the navy underneath the the floral print, just kind of making sure all the colors are spaced around. And so there off camera I did my stitching. I just did crisscrosses around or through most of the big circles in different color thread. So now the thread's stuck there, it's not going to come out, and I've got all my lovely texture finished there, and so now I'm going to come in with the picture and the embellishments and work on that. This is from another snap card, and I love this little floral cluster. So I am going to use a little bit of floral on this, but this one's got the navy blue in it, and so I'm going to fussy cut this out And I love how this winds up looking. I'm going to layer it behind my picture. So you're going to see the flowers and a little bit of that coral edge of that little label part there. I love how that looks. That was like the perfect little addition there. However, I want the flowers to kind of overlap the picture, so I'm just going to take my craft knife and go around the inside flowers. And so when I put it around my picture, they can overlap on top of the picture. Just like that. So I'm going to add some foam adhesive. Well, it's not adhesive, it's just foam, but I'm going to make it foam adhesive. And it's just some scraps, literally little pieces of scraps. You can see how cut up those pieces are, but they still work. And so I'm going to use that to give a little bit of a lift to my picture. And then I'm going to work on my title. And I want it to go with "Hello, I am," because that's already on that card. And so I'm going to add "So Sweet," and so that's going to be my title. And some of the "So Sweet" is going to be covered up a little bit with that floral cluster, but that's okay. I still like how it looks, and you can still read what it says. More thread. I forgot I added more thread. I think that was mint. Yeah, the light mint color. Now it's embellishment time. These are the metal clips, and I'm not actually sticking them on the paper like a paper clip is meant to be. I'm just tucking them under so they look like brads. And then I'm going to come in with some of the clear stickers, which are perfect for little embellishments. And these clear stickers look so good on white backgrounds because they really just look like you wrote it, you know. They're perfect. And they're small, and so they just add this little bit of detail here and there. And so I'm just using random ones there around the page. I think the clear stickers are some of my favorite embellishments in all the Simple Stories collections, because there's ones with color, there's gold ones, there's black ones, there's brown ones, there's white. It just depends on the collection. Now this is from one of the 4x6 sticker sheets, and it's designed for planners, but I don't do planning, and so I use them on my layouts, and I think they're perfect. Now I'm just going to use my teeny tiny circle punch and punch out some of this square floral sticker, and I'm going to stick these down just for added little circles, because I've got all these other big circles going around, and I'm going to add a little bit more pop of this navy. And even though it's got floral on it, it still adds a little bit of, you know, extra interest with different colors in it. And I like the fact that they're little tiny circles. And this is something that you could do with pattern paper. You could do it with any other stickers. You know, you don't necessarily have to use a sticker. Like those stickers there on that sticker sheet are square. Who says you have to use them as a square? You don't have to. You could punch little circles like I just did. You can cut it in half and use it as a triangle. You could punch a bigger circle out of it. You definitely do not have to use it as is. I also love these little word label stickers. There's so many sayings. I mean, it's so versatile. There's a saying for everything. So I stick a couple of those around, add my date, and that's the final layout. I love how this turned out. Definitely different than my first layout with this collection, and that's one of my favorite things about this line, is that you can get totally different looks depending on the colors that you bring in and just the products from the collection that you use. This washi tape went a long way in helping you with this. So there's no pattern paper here. So let me know if you have any questions. This is really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.